listened to the remarks of the Honourable Member who's just concluded about keeping things safe, about dignity, about making sure that people can get their super and no one intrudes on it. And that all sounds like marvellous stuff, except for people who with First Guardian and Shield funds, $1.2 billion that went missing. They're still well in excess of $500 million that they're looking for. And they were just the people that the member had been talking about. These were the school teachers. I know one very well. It was my former wife. The money has gone. Gone. Just disappeared. Hundreds of thousands of dollars reflecting their life as a teacher. And just one, but there's multiples of them. About 12,000 people. And we're expecting these people to become KCs, King's Counsellors, in pursuit of their money. Now, I asked Minister Molino, who I know has been talking to Melinda Key, and that's good. That's good. But we have got to give these people a break. Rather than have them go through, they've got to go to Africa to get to CSLR, and then they've got to go back to the trustees and counter-sue them and find out the liabilities that reside here. These people did what they were asked to do. They put their money in a super fund. They didn't go out to do some wild stock on the London Stock Exchange, second board of the London Stock Exchange. They put their money into super and went back to their jobs. And then these people are going to have to continue working, I don't know, waiting tables for the rest of their life. They have no money. What should be happening if we really believe in supporting superannuation and other measures is ASIC should pay these people out and then they do the footwork, the legal work to recover the money. That would be a genuinely decent thing to do. But we've gone through this bureaucratic fiasco where, we're almost we're putting people in hospital under stress. Because even now, and I was following this up last year, I'm following it up again now, there has to be some resolution to this. I am very disappointed, and I put on notice that at the first opportunity when I managed to get one question in the last 2 years, it's a reflection of how things were going for me. But the next option I will get is to, and I put the Minister on notice, to ask them, what are we doing about this? So for those who are sitting back in the rooms, possibly, so Minister Molino, at the next opportunity, I'm going to ask you about where we are with this process.
Can I just ask the member for New England to use the correct titles of
the
ministers?
The Assistant Treasurer, Minister Molino. To where are we with these people on their behalf? We have to raise the tempo on this because I thought that this would somehow get to a resolution. And I commend Macquarie Bank, who's come out as one of the people who were involved with it, paid the people out. And there was one other whose name evades me. But it needs to be, they all need to be paid out. What we have now is a process where some might possibly get $150,000. Now, that's not going to get you very far. I'll revert back to my accountancy days. As a very rough rule of thumb, you're going to live on about 10% of what you've got in your super. So if you've got $150,000, you have to work out what you're going to be doing on $15,000 a year plus pension. And that's a pretty meagre life. In fact, for some people, that means a life in their car if they don't own their house. We will be putting people into destitution. We had some of these funds, the people had over $1 million in it. Quite a number of them you spoke to, 300,000, 320,000, 400,000. Diligent people who've worked hard all their life, were not financial advisors, relied on other people who had licenses to deal in their money to do the right thing. But these people who got their money in super, even when their accounts were frozen, when they couldn't get access to their own accounts, the money was withdrawn by First Guardian and Shield and basically disappeared, turned up as jewellery and cars and a whole range of floated overseas, completely swindled out of their money. The hope that the people have, the groups that have, and is that we will, in this chamber, continue to fight on their behalf. I've made this issue abundantly clear to my colleagues in One Nation, that this is a fundamental issue that talks directly to the hearts of people around Australia, in the western suburbs of Sydney, in regional towns, that we've got to try and do more. So I won't delay the House, but I think it's important that people know that I haven't forgotten about this. There are other things happening around this building today where there's a fascination about themselves, but we should have a fascination about the people who are really hurting. Because of a failure in the system that was none of the fault of the people who invested in their super, we have put people into destitution and gone completely against all the principles that were just enunciated by the former member's speech. Everything she said about safety, about security, about, reliability, about not being able to steal from the balances, all that failed in regards to these people. So what should happen is ASIC, the government, to be quite frank, should pay all these super accounts out, reinstall the money. And then the government, which has vastly greater resources legally, should then pursue the people who created the malfeasance and those who were associated with them and those who were paid a fee, a trailer fee, an upfront fee to hawk the business into them, get the whole lot of them, line them up, get all the money back for them, and then the government can go reclaim the money that it's paid out and hit them with costs on top of it. That's fair enough. They broke the law, not the people who put their money in the super. Because if we don't do this, all the narrative and all the discussions about this issue is a total farce. It's a total farce because we haven't actually lived by the principles that we're enunciating in such things as a Treasury Laws Amendment supporting choice in superannuation and other measures bill. It's just an explanatory memorandum of piffle. So I thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I call on the Minister, the Assistant Treasurer, not to confound it with the technicalities and legal principles and liabilities and, this sort of amorphous regalia of legalese. Just pay the people out. Just pay them out. And then use the great resources of the Commonwealth of Australia to pursue those who committed the crime, pursue those who defrauded Australians, pursue those who have left people in destitution for the money that they stole.
The question